the case against Kamala?
Yep.
All right. So in my article that I wrote this last, we have on a website, the case against Kamala. Should we wear it? I want to remind everybody. Go back to 2020, 2021, I should say, January of 2021. If you remember the Newsweek article from that talked about the cabal that worked together to basically steal the election, which is what they were talking about. How they were going to get all those Zuckerberg boxes out and do all the other things and have the riots. That was all brought out in the Newsweek article. Full disclosure. Feel free to check it on your own. So, is it possible? Well, they got a guy who couldn't even talk to win, and the reason is, for whatever you want, you can you're welcome to come up with your own, but the cabal is just one of the examples is how they did it. So we need to be aware that this is an election we can lose. Trump can lose this election. It's very real, and we have to take her seriously, or whoever, because I'm not 100% sure that she's going to be the nominee. I don't know, because Democrats stay loyal, but I don't know if they're actually going to do it until I see it. Having said that, and also, she's, as you pointed out last episode, she's just got to keep her mouth closed until we get through the convention.
There are multiple ways that this could go down bad, including this week if she picks Josh Shapiro as her vice president, because there's a website, a Democrat website, saying, calling him Genocide Josh because he's a Jew,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And he's allegedly pro-Israel, although he'll switch it just like that.
But he may help with Pennsylvania, but he's going to hurt with Michigan, and that's.
Yeah, and there's going to be the problem with the convention. Suppose they put him in, and the mostly peaceful Hamas protesters, we'll call them mostly peaceful protesters, show up and decide that they don't like Genocide Josh being at the top of the ticket, and she's not woke enough she's not down enough for the destruction of Israel. Then you can have all kinds of problems, right? So that's one way that she could. We're going to break a news story too, which is another way that it could all fall apart for Kamala Harris. But I think that you're right that this has to be our standard. Listen, it's still you can't just give up now. You just think that we won, because it's not the case. It's not the case. This is the case. This is what you have to tell everybody when you meet them. These are the case against Kamala. This is what you're going to get. You're going to get more inflation. You're going to get more baby murdering. You're going to get more of this wacko transgenderism, right? You're going to get the end of fracking, right? She wants to destroy fracking, right? She wants to end fracking. You're going to get higher gas prices, more inflation, right? This is all the things that you're going to get. She was left of Bernie, the most liberal senator in the
which,
and that's why she was out.
Which is, by the way, has been taken off of the government watch site. They took that off. I just was reading that today. I will have that for our next show. But John, I just want to get some of the negatives about it. These are the things we need to be talking about when it comes to qualifications for her failure. The Brady Rule. She was begged by her staff to put it in place. John, you can talk about what the Brady Rule is, but she refused to put that into place. And the Brady Rule, in essence, it requires correct me if I'm wrong, brother, the prosecutor to turn over any exculpatory evidence to the defendant, correct?
Yes, and that's why they used to call her. She's a cop, man. She will stab you in the back. Black people think that she's out for them. No. She's a cop, man.
Yeah, and so then there's and that actually is cited here in the CNBC article. If you look closely, Harris ignored pleas from her staff to institute defendants' rights policy while she served as district attorney of San Francisco, according to a new report in the Wall Street Journal. So this is back in 2019. The next thing we have here, is Kamala, the first Indian American senator. I know we're going to talk about this later, but
Indian American U.S. Senator. Harris is the first Indian American U.S. Senator. The state attorney general took on another Democrat, Loretta.
Just that first few lines. She's
The
not
first
the person she's
Indian
claiming to
American.
be.
Yep.
Right. Then she laughed about using
So
pot.
there are a lot of reasons why we need to legalize.
Have you ever smoked?
I have.
Okay. Like in
And
college,
I inhale. I did inhale.
Okay.
It was a long time ago.
She laughs about it here, but if you look at this crime statistic that I'm pulling up, and hopefully it'll come up,
Is it 1,500?
1,560 people were sent to state prisons for marijuana-related offenses between 2015 or 2011 and 2016.
She's a cop, man.
So I mean,
Persecutor in pantsuit.
Now what's my point? I mean, I won't go too much deeper in the article that you read because there are other things in there. But right off the bat, what we see from this woman is a tendency to use the legal system to suit her own needs. Obviously, getting people locked up, black or white, doesn't, it's immaterial. Helps her with her stat numbers to make sure she's a better, as John was saying, she's a cop. She wants to be reelected. She wants people to think she's tough on crime. So this allows that. But the fact that she then, laughs about using the same substance that she's locking up these people for, many of the minorities, is a hypocrite, which draws us to the very easy conclusion is if she's such a law and order type of person, and she's like a prosecutor and a lawyer, and because we hear consistently from CNN and then, she's for the law. She's legally smart. She's all this. The problem here we see very simple problem with that. She okayed going after Trump legally using lawfare. And we understand now why she was okay with it. Because that's her MO. That's her modus operandi. That's the way she does business. She will gladly use the legal system to go after her political opponents, just like she did to go after those people who were smoking weed, just like she did to keep the people locked up by not using the Brady rule to get them, to give them the exculpatory evidence. She, number one, she's not for the law. Number one in her world is Kamala Harris. That's number one. And that's the case against Harris in a nutshell, bro. Did you want to add to that? You look like you wanted to say something.
Well, I think the point you're making is that she's so craven. There is no real any attorney general, any prosecutor has the number one duty to justice, right?
Yes.
That's the number one duty. They're supposed to be the first defense attorney, right? And that she's so craven, she will use the law means nothing to her. She will use it and manipulate it any way she can. So if we think that we have it so bad now with Biden using lawfare against who was allegedly a public defender at one point, how much worse is it going to be when you have this ex who was literally the attorney general of a city and the state, right? Who's strong on, who's tough on crime, right? Before she was then, with BML, releasing murderers back into public and all behind BLM and the riots and stuff. How much worse is it going to be for us if she gets in there? So I think that's a valid point on the case against Kamala.
I want to make the case clear that Biden may have been president, but she endorsed his action.
Really? But who was president? That is an open question now because we know it's not him.
So legally, he may have been the one who swore the oath.
Well, right. We know he wasn't in charge. So maybe it was her, but I'm really
maybe it was her. She was clearly, though.
I think Obama, who's had not moved out of and it's Obama's people, Anita Dunn and those creeps, the Obamaites that jumped ship. And then are now, which is interesting enough, are now back. So they left Joe Biden, right? And they jumped ship. And now those rats are back in Axelrod, and the Obamaites are behind her campaign. So again, you're right. So I think you make a valid point because there are people now she's surrounding herself with. Like maybe there was some kind of deal behind the scenes between her and Obama.
Right. But, and I mean, there's other parts we talk about Kamala's role with the financial situation, where we even have Maria Bartolona talking about that she's responsible for, I think it's $2.7 trillion of the $7 trillion debt, because she was the tie-breaking vote in the Congress to pass the two Biden Harris laws that got passed. One, and I got to point out, they were done in reconciliation, which is a complete farce. It's not an up or down vote. It also allows for whatever you want as a senator as an amendment.